Hey, welcome back to La Nueva Ola Show. I'm your guest host, Robert Masonette. And yes, thank you. All right. It's my pleasure to bring out our next guest. He is the technical consultant and one of the actors on the hit Netflix series, The Get Down. I know you're all watching it. So please, can we get a round of applause for Willie Estrada? Woo! Nice to meet you. Congratulations on the show. That's all everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, I've been noticing.
Yeah, you've been noticing. Okay, well, we want to talk a little bit about everything about you, and we want to talk about your book, The Dancing Gangsters of the South Bronx. Okay?
Okay.
Tell me, what inspired you to write it?
Well, I felt our story had never been told before, and I started actually writing it in 1988 when I was in school, and then I wanted to capture that time and place. You know, it was kind of crazy days because there was a lot of killings and a lot of bad things happening. The Bronx was burning, but even before all that started, you know, we were being suppressed as the people, and I wanted to make sure I got the story. But then after time, it changed a little bit because our story was not being told, but it was being kind of hijacked by others, taking credit for things that we did. So that's the reason why I finally finished it.
All right. I'm from the Bronx myself, so I'm hearing everything you say, and I was around there that time, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good.
So,
Glad to
all
hear
right,
that.
and now tell me about the birth of the hustle.
Wow. Well, when we were younger, back in the, I would say late 60s and early 70s, we did a dance called grinding, where we danced slow with the girls. And the old people, they didn't like that very much. They were like, that's not cool. But after a while, we got, because we would crash parties and dance. But once you're dancing with the girls and the old people looking and, saying, what the hell is that? Somebody talked to us and said, listen, why don't you make the dance a little cleaner? Don't dance so closely. And that's when the first hustle started being developed. And that was like in late 72, I would say.
There you go.
So, and it was a very simple dance. It was a 5-step dance, and it went a little something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. And when the parents weren't looking, we'd go in the grind with the girls again, right? So after a while, then the second rendition was born, and it was a simple step as well. Right? After that, the third one came in 73, late 73, and it was...
Hey, that's it. Oh, yeah, now you're getting too complicated.
Right? And then like in
You're
74,
smooth, you're good,
and by
good.
74, we started watching like, all these movies with Fred Astaire, and we started adding a little mambo and salsa to the mix, and that's when it became the full-blown hustle, which is when it started getting called the Latin hustle. So that's where it was actually a place called St. Mary's Recreation Center where it really blew up. And then we brought it into the city, and by 75, everybody in New York, in the tri-state area was doing that dance.
Yeah, I remember that dance. My cousin Rosie and her husband William were dancers. They used to do the Latin hustle, and they won local competitions and stuff like that. So I remember growing up and watching them dance. And your moves are really smooth. I was just like, I got 2 left feet, so you're not going to see me do dancing.
Here's one thing a lot of people don't really know about the hustle. Not only did it help us, calm down the old folk that didn't want us grinding, but it also led to peace in the South Bronx, in the most violent area of the South Bronx, which was considered the murder capital of the United States during the late 60s and early 70s. When the hustle was born, it was what we used to make peace among all the surrounding gangs, which mostly comprised of Puerto Ricans, but, we were killing each other at one point. And when we introduced the hustle, that's when things started calming down, and then eventually the violence stopped. We took off our gang colors because we wanted to dance with the girls, right?
Yeah. All right, so that leads me to the next question. Tell me what it was like growing up in the South Bronx. What part of the South Bronx were you in? Where?
I lived on 145th Street between Brook and St. Anne's, but I also, before that, I lived on Brook Avenue between 149th and 148th Street, so I was always in the area, but it was violent, it was chaotic. It took courage to go to school, because, gangs dominated everything. You couldn't wear nice sneakers unless you were a member of a gang. If you were a member of a gang, then you can get away with it. But if you weren't, you were going to get robbed every day. So why bother wearing something nice, right?
Yeah, see, I was lucky. My dad, we kept moving. When the neighborhood started going a little bit down, my dad was like, oh, time to pack up and move up. And we kept moving up further the Bronx. But I remember, seeing a lot of stuff like that. So, yeah, I hear you.
My parents did the same thing, only we'd move from out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Yeah.
So it was like no getting away from it, you know.
No, it was rough back then. It was rough, but it's better now, definitely.
It's much better now. Well, yeah, I mean, now it's, you know, it's a whole totally different place, and it's very diverse now. So, you know, it doesn't look like the South Bronx of yesteryear when everything was around you was burning.
Yeah.
I mean, we played in the brickyards. You know, literally, we played in the brickyards.
All right, now tell us. Let's talk about it because we got to talk about it. It's the show that everybody's talking about, everybody's watching. Netflix is The Get Down.
Right.
How did you get involved with it? What's your part in it? What's your role in it? How's your experience been like working on it?
Well, it's been a wonderful experience working on The Get Down. How I got involved is because when I first heard about the show, my daughter called me and said, "Dad, you got to be a part of this show because it's about your book." You know, so I'm like, okay. So I made some inquiries and I found Nelson George, who was one of the writers on the show, and then I sent him my video bio, and he says, "Hey, this is awesome." Pass it along to some of the producers, and they never called me. So one day when I found out they were filming across the street from my house, and I found out they didn't have the real people doing the real Latin hustle of my era, right? And I'm one of the forefathers and pioneers of that dance. I said, no, this can't happen. So I went down there because Hollywood was right across the street from my house, literally. And Baz was there, and I went over to try to meet him, and I met the executive director, producer actually, Tom Kelly. And then when he found out who I was, he just took me to Baz, and Baz knew exactly who I was because he'd been following me on social media for 2 years.
Wow.
So they just gave me a job. I went down there to complain about stuff, and before you knew it, they put me in the show. And I'm like, really? With Jimmy Smith? Like,
so that's how you met Baz then. That was my next question. How did you meet Baz
when he
Luhrmann?
saw me, he says, Willie! And he came and gave me a hug, and I'm like, really? Baz Luhrmann knows who I am?
That is I'm a big Baz Luhrmann fan, so I was just like, I go back to Strictly Ballroom. That first film that I ever saw by him was Strictly Ballroom, and I
love that movie.
I've been obsessed with him. He's such a creative genius.
Oh, he is.
Such a unique visionary, you know. So hearing how you met him and that he knew he was, that's oh my God, it must be so like.
It was amazing because it was like from there it became a fairy tale. Because they put me to act with Jimmy Smith, and I didn't have any lines, so I'm like, do I have any lines? He's like, no, we just kind of put you in there for a cameo. I'm like, okay, but what kind of Puerto Rican sits at a poker game drinking with his buddies and doesn't say a damn thing? I'm like, what am I, the village idiot? And so they all started laughing. Okay, you can improvise some lines. And when I did, they actually liked what I said. And he called Jimmy Smith over. He said, hey, Jimmy, I want to put him on the show, you know, to play one of your right-hand guys. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I want him in. Because Jimmy wanted me to speak more once he saw that I could go along with what we were speaking about. It was cool.
God, you're working with all the people that I want to work. Jimmy Smith is another person.
He's awesome.
He is my role model, my idol. I just look up so much to him as an actor.
So do I.
Just great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome. So how was it like working with him?
It's been awesome. Great, I've been working with him for 16 months now. Yeah. No, listen, we're finally finalizing this first season because they released the first six episodes for part 1, and then part 2 is coming. So the only one we have left to do and finish actually is episode 12, which is the last episode. So I got very emotional during one of the scenes, and my tears just started to flow, and it was part of the scene. I didn't think I could do that, but because it was so realistic, it just happened like 6 times in a row, and I'm like, wow, the director says, great job. I'm like, yeah, is it over? Because I can't cry anymore. You know? So it was pretty amazing for me.
Well, congratulations, man. This is an honor to meet you. So, like, we all know where we can see The Get Down. Everybody can just
Netflix.
Right. Netflix, baby. That's where you get The Get Down.
And if you want the real story,
now tell them where you can get. That's the most important thing. You got to get his book.
You can get my book if you want the real story, the Dancing Gangsters of South Bronx, and you can go to thedancinggangsters.com. And you can see also some photos of The Get Down and stuff like that with all the actors, Jaden Smith and all the rest of the cast on there as well.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Novella and making the time. And it was an honor and pleasure to meet you. And good luck with everything. We're hoping
thank you guys.
There's gonna be a season 2. There has to be.
Thank you guys. And I love the way you guys dance. You're keeping our hustle alive. I'm so proud to be here with you guys.